Hey everyone, I'm so glad to have you here. Purchasing a home can be one of the biggest investments and one of the biggest purchases that you make in your life. So this week, I'm going to be going over a general overview of what to do and the cost of purchasing a home. I'm Shannon Larsen with eXp Realty in Las Vegas, Nevada, serving the greater Las Vegas area. So the first thing you need to do when you begin your home investment journey is to speak with a lender. So go see a lender. You can do a lot of shopping around. There's a bunch of lenders out there. You can get a referral from a friend, from a family member, from a real estate agent. But the first thing that you really need to do is get pre-approved. So there's a couple of different letters that you can actually obtain. The first one being is a pre-qualification letter. So basically the bank is going to ask you a bunch of different questions regarding your finances, your current situation. And this essentially says that the lender did not look into great detail about your finances and your current situation. But as of right now, with the information provided, this person would be eligible for a particular amount. So this is not as good as a pre-approval letter. So a pre-approval letter is what I really highly recommend, and that's what you should get from the get-go. So a pre-approval letter, you'll have to supply the lender with more documents, and they're going to actually pull your credit, and they're going to want to see physical documentation of your income, your debt, your taxes. So it's just a much more thorough investigation of your finances and your current situation. So this pre-approval letter holds a lot more weight than the pre-qualification letter that I mentioned before. And this pre-approval letter basically says that this individual or this couple qualifies for X amount, and the lender is vouching for their financial readiness to purchase a home. They're also going to pull your credit score. So your credit score does matter, and you want to have a credit score of around at least 620 or better. So don't hold me to that number, because it may be different for different lenders. It may be different for different markets, but it's a good starting point. So you're going to be required to show at least the last 2 years of income and work history as well. So hopefully over that time, your income has gradually increased and not decreased. And it looks like to the lender that your income and work have been solid and steady throughout the years. They're also going to look at debt. So if you have different types of debt, such as like student loans, credit card debts, car payments. So if that debt's too high, you may have to pay off some of that debt and then save up some more money to put down payment towards the purchase of your home. So if you cannot show that you have the funds for the down payment, you may not get the pre-approval letter, unfortunately. But the pre-approval letter, it's going to help your real estate agent really narrow down the price point that you can actually afford. So that's really crucial and very important. So let's move on to costs associated with buying a home. So there's a lot of costs in buying a home. A down payment, as I mentioned before, is one of the costs of purchasing a home. There are some programs where you don't have to have a down payment, and those are pretty specific programs, and you could always look into those. But generally, most home buyers, they're going to have to put some type of down payment towards the purchase of a home. There's a lot of different loan programs out there. One of the most popular loans out there is FHA loans, and these are backed by the federal government, and they're also insured. The thing with these is that you have to put a minimum of 3.5% down of the purchase price of the home. And then if you don't qualify for a FHA loan, or say you're an investor, you may be required to put down between 10 to 25%. So just be prepared for that. So closing and what's going to happen. When you actually find a home that you love and you put an offer in on that home and the seller accepts your offer, we have what is called an executed contract. That means you, the buyer, and the seller have come to a mutual agreement, and that within generally 30 to 60 days, with everything going smooth and scheduled, you're going to close on your home. So this is where all the paperwork has been completed and the money has been transferred from the lender to the seller. And this is where all the documents are signed and the title transfers, and essentially you're given the keys to your newly purchased home. So some additional closing costs besides the ones that I mentioned are, not only is the lender going to charge you the loan interest rate, but there's also going to be origination fees and title fees as well. So the title company handles the legal side of things for the transfer of home ownership from the seller to the buyer. Some other fees that you may have to consider are moving costs if you're moving out of state, and then you have your earnest money deposit as well that you're putting down as good faith. This shows the seller that you are committed to purchasing the property. And one other cost that I highly recommend is getting a home inspection. A home inspection is going to investigate if there are any issues with the foundation, any issues with the structure of the property, or any other significant damage that is potentially going to cost you down the road. And then also it's going to look at the foundation and the structure of the home and just make sure that the home is safe to inhabit and live in as well. Getting a home inspection, I think, is really essential. Another cost is going to be a home appraisal. So the lender will send out a appraiser. For example, if you purchased a home for $200,000 and the appraisal comes back to be $175,000, the buyer's going to have to make some decisions as, do they want to pay the difference out of pocket, or are they going to put more money down? Or if they can't do any of those, then possibly the deal might fall through. So some additional final tips, and these are really super important. So have all the money saved up in the bank well before you get the pre-approval from the lender. Have all your finances in order before you start the process, and don't make any big significant purchases, like purchasing a car or purchasing something and putting that purchase on a credit card. Refrain from doing any of that. I come out with a video every single week. So if you think this was super informative and super valuable, go ahead and give me a comment, and go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and smash that notification button. Thank you for watching.